Okay, good evening everybody, and what's up? Today we are going to be continuing our legacy with working on the great Wolverine-like daggers that one of my comments recommended me to make for them. So we are going to go ahead and make that for them. Oh, hang on, let me... Oh, really? Hang on. 1 second, everybody. I need to do something real quick. Forgot to set up almost everything. It should work. Okay, there you go. I am back, everybody. So I'm going to close this out. Alright. There we go. So, I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Like I said, we are going to be continuing our legacy with this awesome plugin. Or mod, whatever you would call it. So, what I have so far is from what I ended off with last stream was, so I accidentally, not accidentally, but I couldn't get the animations to work, and it kept crashing. But, luckily, guys, believe it or not, I gotta show you something world revolutionizing to me. I actually managed to fix it. I don't know why it took so long and why it didn't work, but it just decided to work. So yes, it works. If this will load, that'd be pretty nice. Why isn't nothing working? Really? Okay, let's retry this. Alright. Console, please run. Still shows stream. Oh, there you go. No wonder why. Okay, do you see it now? Should hopefully be able to see it. Okay, let's see. Alright, good. Alright. Speaking of, I need to make sure I got all the analytics stuff. There you go. Alright, so world revolutionizing technology that I've just discovered is the animations work. Okay, sweet. It's good that it's working. And thank you for chatting. So now I can see if my the chat thing works. And I'm glad it does. Alright, so as you can see, here's me. Now, if I press okay, let me get my words together. Keybinds. Scroll down. Alright, so I have these set to G and H just for testing reasons. But it's not linked to the armor yet, but I will do it just real quick just to show you an example of what it basically would look like. So here is what they look like on my character. Now don't mind the glitching wrist or whatever, but so if I press G, here's the animation I'll play whenever I left click. So let's just say I left click with the mouse. This is what it would show. And then if I right click with the mouse, it would attack with this hand. So it's just kind of combination. And yeah. So what I can do is go ahead and start continuing working on my thing. And what we will do is left punch. So what I have an idea for is to stop any of the other animations maybe. Well, no, I guess I can't. It's perfectly fine at that. I can't though. But so what we can do now is go ahead and work on the attacking, like it whenever I would attack. Then it would damage the entity. Now this part, believe it or not, guys, there is something I don't know. I know it's pretty crazy about that, but that's why we have my good friend Google. I'm gonna show this off camera, just so I can show the work, the awesome work. All right, so how do I make me attack with right? Actually, I have an idea. So hear me out, guys. Hear me out. What I can do is for the right punch. I mean, since obviously the right punch, I would right click. So there's no. If I left click, I can just leave it be. But right punch, it's a little different because I can't have the attack play there. So I have to create a custom version for that. But I do have an idea. I could make it shoot an invisible projectile, and then just have it like damage the person. Instead of having to like deal with all this custom code, I can just, have one single projectile that would just like, it's real short, just a normal distance of like punching someone. And then it should just work, I guess. Alright, so let's see. Not fireball. Splash potion. Alright, shoot from entity. Alright. So if I recall, I do need... There's something else I need from here. Throwable projectile of type. Alright, here we go. So now I can go ahead and make a new projectile. Here we go. Projectile. R punch. I'm just going to say hitbox, because it's technically what it's going to be. So required item. I could just have it like that. All right. So required item is that. Alright, so then projectile model, texture, no, what am I going to do? Create texture. This is going to be invisible. Save as new texture. This is... What texture does it need? Does it need entity? I'm just going to do test real quick. Alright, so it does need test. Not test, but it just needs R punch hitbox texture. I saved it as the wrong thing. Are you kidding me? Right punch hitbox texture entity. There you go. Alright, now I can close out of that and then delete all the ones that I did not mean to create. And delete this. No, not this, not this, not this. Test. I want to delete test, not the other ones. R punch. Here we go. There you go. And then I'm just going to save to see if it works. Alright, so that works. Does default projectile hit knockback? Yes, it does do that. Default projectile power. There has to be a better way. I'm just going to try. I'm going to try though. You can never not try it? I am going, while it's loading, I want to see what. I'm trying to remember what I did. Alright, can I do it? Do it. Wait. Alright, so we have this. Alright, so what happens if I hold it? Yeah, nothing's working. That's wonderful. I need to figure this out. I do not really want to have to code unnecessary stuff. Required item. I don't know if this is the right thing I need. Item extension. Alright. Let's see. Let me think. Alright, so on key press, projectile. Shoot. Data. What did I do on one of my mods? Hang on. File. Open. Alright, hang on. I'm going to open up another one of my projects that I've made. Let's see. MCreator 2024.4. Let's see if I can remember. I feel like I got it. I know I do. I just know it. I don't know where or like how, but I just feel like I do. So let's see. This mod, I had not worked on this in a while. I never thought about that. Alright. You'll see what this is. It's the mod that I use projectiles heavily on. I just need to remember. I just need a good remembrance of what I needed to do for the projectile. Because it was a custom projectile I could use for any of the things. I just need to wait. That's one of the things I don't want to do right now. I just want to make sure I can get it. Anytime now, please. Alright, I think it's almost done. Oh, there we go. Yes, here we go. Alright, so, like I said, it's somewhere. Is it ammo box? No, it's... How do I go back to the default? There we go. Alright. Shotgun, bullet, item. Alright, so items. Looking. Alright, so yeah, this was just like an item in general. Alright, so then how did I make this work? Oh my gosh. Arrow type bullet. Oh yes, I remember. I remember now. Alright, so what I did was I created an item, just normal item, and this is just going to be, I'm just going to name this R Punch Hitbox. Yeah, alright, so the item texture, I can just make it, alright, create texture, transparency, just save it as this, and item texture, R Punch Hitbox texture. Alright, then do that. And also, I can delete the entity texture for this. Alright, I got that. And then, so yeah, it's invisible. It's invisible now. But what I can do is just make sure everything's good real quick. Alright, so yeah, this is just... In fact, I can make this 0. Oh, never mind. I'll just make it 1. Alright, so yeah, just have the item. This is just going to be the base. And then I create the projectile, R Punch Hitbox projectile. Alright, so then it's going to be this required item. I don't know if was this necessary. Okay, so yeah, I guess it was. Alright, so then save this real quick. Project. Okay, yeah, that's not important. Okay, that's good. That's good. There does not need to be any sound whenever it shoots out. All right, so now I can go to projectile, shoot. Hang on, there was something else I used. Yeah. And then arrow of type. This with the damage. How much damage does player fists do in Minecraft? I'm just going to use this as a base as well. 1 damage point. Alright, so it does half a heart, but these make my character have more damage. Or no, I guess not. I'll just make it do more damage. Alright, so let's see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna make it do, let's see. Yeah, let's leave it at 5. So that means it would be 2.5 hearts of damage. I think that's a pretty decent number. I mean, a sword might do a little more, but yeah, I'll just do 6. I'll do 6. Alright, let's see. So now what I can do is I might put a cooldown on using the item. So that way, it's not too overpowered, because, I mean, I could literally just easily spam it like 4 times in like a millisecond, and then it just immediately kills something. So that would not be what I really want. So let's see. 1 second. I think that might be good. Alright, then cooldown is on cooldown. Good flow control if do statement. Drag this in. Oh, it's hiding. No, get back here. There we go. Alright, so it is provided item stack on cooldown. What happens if I save this? Alright, so no errors happen. That's good. That's good. That's very good. And then I think I am good over here. Alright, so pickup type disallowed. So that means it'll just immediately not, like, it'll immediately disappear. And accuracy needs to be the same. Speed, I'll just see 0.25. Let's see about that. Let's see. What is this one? Speed 10. I don't need this anymore. Thank you so much for the help, my old project. And I'm going to test this out. Let's find out if this works, shall we? I do hope it does, though. I want to make sure. Oh, man. No, what's happened? No. Missing dependency. What's missing? Oh. Wait, what happens if I put these out? Alright, so what happens if I just have it like this? Save mod element. Alright, so that works. That works. Interesting. Alright, so cooldown. Alright, I actually have an idea. I don't mind doing this actually. If alright, then there's the else statement. So we have MBT. We got the custom number MBT tag. Here we go. And then we set this to the 20 ticks that I wanted. R punch cooldown. Or no, just punch cooldown. I think because yeah, that's just going to stay the same. That'd be good. And then else, what this will do is do +1 or just 1, and then math, get the plus sign, make this subtract, and then we do get custom NBT tag. Where is it? All right, so all right, I'm just going to do NBT get. Here we go. Not of block. I just want one in general. There we go. All right, then get, let's see, punch cooldown. Yoink. There we go. All right, so now what we can do is if logic, drag this out, copy this, put it in here, and then here, and I believe it was like, if it's greater than 0. All right, I think I did that right. All right, so yep, it's still there. All right, moment of truth. Will this work? If so, then I can go ahead and copy the code to the next thing. But let's hope this works. We're about to find out, though, aren't we? Okay, anytime now. Anytime now. Well, while we wait, how have y'all been this fine day? Well, it's loaded. All right. Anytime. I can wait because this is super fast. All right. All right, so what is this? Does it work? Is it binded? Okay, so something's not working. That's not good. I believe. All right. Okay. Let's see. So greater than 0. All right. So that's not what we want. All right, if it's greater than -1, let's just try that. Or no, was it greater than or equal to? Man, I'm confusing myself. I'm just going to see this. I'm just going to see if this works. I think usually the number MBTs start at 0. If I'm correct. Because, I mean, that's just like a default blank number, so should work. Alright, we are in. Alright, new world. New world. Let's find out if this time it works. Because last time it didn't work. Because it was asking like, hey, is it... Alright. Oh, it works. Alright. It's not working. Why? The animation plays, that's good, but... It's not... Okay, so what? I'm going to make this will shoot a barrier symbol. I don't know. And item. Wait, does it not detect? Beef. How about beef? Alright, so it's just... Let's just make my character shoot out steaks. Let's try that. Alright, right punch. Let's see. Why isn't it working? Pickup type, disallowed, shooter. Oh, really? Alright, believe it or not, guys, I got to look at my old project again. I'm confusing myself again. What are the odds? Alright, moment of truth. Yes, I know. Team Craftress. Alright, shotgun. Let's find out. What is the shooter entity? What if that's something to do? Ah, yes. No wonder why. It's not doing anybody shooting the thing. So I need event/target entity. So, now... Alright, it's still there, it's still there. Alright, now hopefully my fantabulastically elastical thing should work. Please work. Please. I'm begging you. I just want it to work. Moment of truth. This is the most terrifyingly nerve-wracking thing of all time. You don't even know if it's going to work or not. That's the terrifying thing about code and stuff all the time. You never know if it's going to work or if it's going to have a million bugs you have to fix. Now, preferably, I would not want it to be the second option, aka a million bugs and need to find out why it's not working, which, well, I mean, for obvious reasons, I don't want that. So, let's hope for the best. Alright, so let's see. So, am I going to be shooting out the steaks? It's not. Why must it do this to me? Alright, so it's good to know that the animation does that. Alright, so the depressing news is that it was the second option. R punch hitbox. I'm just going to recreate that item. R punch hit. Yes, I know. Hitbox. Alright, we're going to make sure that this steak shows up. Because we want to, prove. Alright, I have an idea. It's going to be a crazy idea. But I'm going to remake these things. Oh my gosh, the error. I don't like the errors. No, yes, I know. Alright, item. our punch item. It's going to be steak. And then the projectile, our punch hitbox. Yes, the item, it works. Alright, default projectile thing, hit damage. Just going to do that. There we go. And then now we will... What is it? Yeah. Hello! Next! How are you there? That's a... Hello! Hang on, let's see. Oh yeah, I remember you. You were the you were the person that sent me that game, right? The one with the circles and the square. I do remember you. You made that game you sent me, right? Yes. Yeah, that's pretty good game. I liked it. You did pretty good on that. Nice. Hope it goes well. Yeah, I've never played that game, but I have seen some footage of it, and it looks pretty neat. So yeah, good luck on that. That's going to be a pretty cool idea. All right, let's see. Interesting. Is that pretty boring to do? Let's see. I can see why though. How far have you gotten into making the hitboxes? Are you real close to being done? So this is, I've been working on something that one of my comments on YouTube asked me. They asked me to make Wolverine-like Daggers on gloves or something. And yeah, so now I am making the hitbox whenever I like right click, like to punch or something. So this is interesting so far. What's your idea? That's an interesting idea. Yeah, I ought to do that. Alright, hang on, let me open my project because it's breaking on me. Yeah, I'll put that down on my idea list. That'd be a pretty neat system to add. Be pretty funny playing Minecraft and you just able to do the pairing that's in that game. I honestly forgot what it was. I'll have to check it out. Okay, why is this not working? Type. Alright, so what happens if I remove this? Why isn't this not working? What is this? Why is this not working? It's just bizarre. What happens if I remove this? What? Okay, let's see. So save model element. Exit MCreator. Now I'm going to reopen this and then find out if it will work again. Because it wasn't working before for some reason. Well, actually, quite frankly, it still isn't working. Yes, I do know. Alright, let's see. Moment of truth. Will this work? We are about to find out. Oh, I did the collision? Well, that's one of the boring parts done, so now you got the hitboxes. Oh wait, no, is that the same thing? Never mind. It's pretty good you got that done. I could see why it'd be very boring to do that. Okay, why on earth is this not working? Unique ID 4. What? What? Huh? Alright. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right. So, let's see. Alright, there we go. We got that done. Alright, let's try reopen up MCreator. That's an interesting idea. Alright, I will be doing this real quick. Oh, are you able to undo, like, what you deleted? Or, like, did you delete it on purpose? If you press Control Z, you should be able to regain it back. If you deleted it on accident. Okay. Well, I guess that's why you're able to try again, eh? Alright, save mod element. Yoink. Breath. Alright, there we go. Now it's loading. Bro, finally. Alright. Moment of truth. Will this work? I really hope this does. Alright, this is the most terrifying thing of all time. Will this work? Will my hour of trying to make one single thing finally decide to work? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? Alright. Still not working. Okay, we got this though. We got this. We are getting somewhere. Not really with the hitbox. Oh, good for you. It's pretty cool. Alright. I gotta see my project that I made a while back again, because I still have no idea what I did. Okay, why doesn't this work? Open up this project. Shotgun. Alright, and wait, it's a bullet item, not this, just the bullet. What did I have in here? Alright, we got that. What about triggers? Is there any trigger mechanism? There is not. That's wonderful. Okay, So it shoots. Okay, let's see. Let's see, how can I make a keybind shoot a projectile? Alright, I got this. Create a new keybind and on key pressed. Shoot projectile. I want to find out if the projectile even like works. Because if it doesn't, then that might prove something. I don't exactly know what though, but it could be that could prove that this thing is just rigged and does not want me to be able to make something. That'd be unfortunate, but right. Turn down the music. We don't need music. We just need experimentation. That's what we need. Alright, load, please. Okay, let's see. Alright, so we know that it does not work for this. But what happens if we give myself the item? Alright, so I think it's just the projectile is not working. It's pretty weird. Wait, hang on. What happens if I try it with that project that I made like a while back? So guys, just saying this is not going to be the same Minecraft as what we are currently working with. This is just going to be this one mod that I made from a while back, just so I can see if the bullet item works. Because if it does work on this, then this means something is going on for me right now on my project. I just won't know what. All right, let's see. What does this one look like? Nice. Alright, let's see. Loading terrain. Alright, so. Golly, that was loud. Alright, so clear. I don't need these. Alright, give @MMS bullet item. Alright, so this does not fire anything either. So this, alright, so it's just something is up with this. Why? Why is it doing this to me? Alright, test. Triggers. Okay. Notice if I right click, like have this do with a right click with empty hand. Alright, so I guess I won't need this keybind then. If only there's one for the left punch. But I guess it is what it is. Moment of truth. Will this work? Will my 50th test this day work? Let's find out, shall we? Yes, what is your question? So this is not working either. Let's see. I'm going to see what these are. Give me 1 second. Let's see. Well, I have a question. Which one would you want to make? Or, like, which one is your favorite? Like, which one do you want... Sorry, Which one do you want to make? Alright, I will ask you once you... Which one would you want to make? I want you to be able to do whatever you want with your project. I just want to be able to test whatever you want to make. Alright, let's find out if this works. Man, why doesn't this work? I'm so confused. Why? Oh, the agony. What happens if I just do that? Alright, this is going to be my final test before I end stream. But then I do want to make sure that I get the question, answer the question that my fellow viewer is asking. Oh! It works. I choose the one that you want to make. I want you to be able to make whichever one you want. What is your favorite weapon out of the list you gave me? if you want me to choose, I'll choose the simplest ones that you think you can do. Alright, let's see. You want me to choose one, or do you want me to choose one, or like 2 or 3? How many do you want me to choose? Alright, let's see. I choose... How about number 1? Let's try that one. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stream since it is unfortunately 8 o'clock. But I will see you in the next one. So, see you in the next stream. And good luck on your remake.